episode of your favourite is, of course, the big Ramadan show. Of course, a slightly earlier time, but we're going to take you as close as we can to the all-important iftar time. I know we're all getting very hungry. The dishes are being ready. The mothers, the fathers, because yes, we're woke here. Everyone cooks. That's the key thing. We all cook. And that's why I'm in the kitchen right now. There's only one place I want to start the show. That's in the kitchen. And we're joined by some very fantastic guests. We have with us Auntie Zarina today. And we have our sister here as well. Sister, you're going to Faiza. Sister Faiza's with us as well. And we are in the kitchen. And Auntie Zarina, tell me, what are we cooking today?
Well, today we are making chicken pakoras.
Oh, nice.
With the reasonably healthy, but, you know, deep fried, actually.
I like that. The reasonably healthy, slightly fried. We're going to call it shallow fried.
Sort of, yes.
There's a lot of oil in there. It's going to be deep fried. It will be deep fried.
It's going to be deep fried. And we are going to start. What I have done is to make sure that everything is done in time.
Thank you.
I've got half a kilo of chicken, boneless chicken, Thai. Thai is very soft, juicy than any other.
That's true, yes.
That's why we are using that. We've got mint, onion, mint, and coriander. We're going to mix them together. I've put all my ingredients, spices in this because of the time. I made sure that all the things are in there, which is like salt, coriander, red chili, turmeric, all the spices
that's
that
quite a mixture of spices there, isn't there?
Spices. Yes. That's what I'm using, and we are going to put this in.
I remember my uncle, you know when we used to mess about in the kitchen years ago, me and my uncle, we used to pick up a bit of everything and just throw it in. And I think we just thought it works. But I think it does, right? Just mix up your spices and everything works splendidly. I know we're always short on supply, so what are we looking for?
Yeah, we are looking for...
Oh, there you go, we've got the gloves. Because this, you've got to get your hands into it, don't you?
Exactly, so we make sure that we use this. That's it, really. It has to, the way to do this pakora is to make sure that you squeeze the onions, spices, coriander, and mint together. Really make sure that it brings out its own juices.
So is it a case of, are you trying to get them to gel together?
Gel together. Once this gels together, then you slowly introduce like a basin, which is gram flour, and little bit of just ordinary plain flour. In order to...
Shall I put?
Yes, you can put this.
So is that chips?
It is. Put a little bit. Don't have
so is that like a nicely diced potato?
Yeah, nicely diced potato. And she's going to do the same thing here. The way to do is just to make sure that it all binds together before putting anything else in there.
Is Faiza doing a good job here, Auntie?
Faiza is wonderful. Faiza is my right hand. She does most of the...
Oh, excellent.
I am with her, but she does most of the work.
But this is good because you're the mother-in-law, aren't you?
This is it. Yeah, no.
So is she a good daughter-in-law?
Very good.
Oh, good. That's what we like to hear.
Yes.
See, Mum, if you're listening, this is the answer.
Yeah, put it
That's the official answer. All
very good daughter-in-law.
Yeah,
I'm
going to create World War III here today.
She listens and she works hard. And
what makes a good daughter-in-law, Auntie Zarina?
I think respect is very important, but at the same time, to be friendly. And sometimes be at the same level. Although I'm older than her, sometimes we're at the same level, and I'm not perfect, so she's not perfect. Make sure, put all of it if you like.
See, this is that wisdom to impart. This is
the
key thing.
So she learns things from me, and I learn from her. She's a young girl, and so we sort of enjoy each other's company as well, you see. This is the thing.
So Faiza, which dish have you enjoyed learning most from Auntie?
Especially chicken pulao.
I like chicken pulao is my favourite dish. Now, had you made that, nobody would have got a taste of that because I love, you know, over here, I remember I said this on a live appeal once, I prefer pulao over biryani. And people called in thinking I'm crazy. They said, how can you like biryani more than pulao? My thing with pulao is, I find it slightly more moist. You know, you can eat it.
Yes.
Biryani, I find it really dry.
Yeah.
And I find you're always going to have yogurt or something with it.
Don't have to put all of it if you like. See how it goes.
Here we go. So the besan has gone in.
Very little water.
So just to give you an update on time as well,
Yeah,
because
I know we don't have enough time.
We've got 4 minutes.
I know. Be quick.
That's it. Listen to Auntie.
Yeah. You see, she does.
She does, absolutely.
She's my right hand. She does most of the.
I'm going to let you give instructions because she'll
Yeah.
listen to you as opposed to listening to me. I
Yeah,
think.
yes, she would. Yeah. Now this is almost ready. She's really blending. The most important thing is to blend it all. But the chicken we marinated beforehand. I've put soya sauce in it.
Right.
And slightly salt, soya sauce, a little bit of coriander again, and left it for about an hour or so because you have to prepare food.
Of course.
You can't just
Yes.
put it in
Yeah.
there. The taste wouldn't be there.
So one
we
thing I
had to
remember
work
somebody saying
hard.
to me about pakora was they said it's the ideal food for a rainy day.
It is. Actually, we were going to do something else, but then we thought it's the a little bit more. The weather is as such, especially after the fast. Once you open the fast, you will enjoy this more than any other thing.
Yeah.
Rather than having something cold and
Yeah.
like chaat. That is cold, sort of, temperature.
Actually, that makes I never thought about it. So that's the whole reason of the rainy day. It's
Yeah.
nice, warm food.
This is it.
And I've got to say, I had my first pakora of Ramadan, I think 3 days ago. One of the neighbours
Okay.
sent it round.
Right.
And it went within literally a couple of minutes, courtesy of my children, not me. I wouldn't touch them. I'm healthy.
Yeah, well, aren't we all? But now and then doesn't matter.
No, of course, they're all
Now
growing.
and then it's
They're all
okay.
growing,
They're
absolutely.
growing, and now and then having it doesn't matter. Now I don't know about the spices, how much they are balancing in there. Try to be perfect to make sure that everybody could taste it and not overdo the spices here.
Ah, yes.
So you can start now putting in there.
I suppose, is it all to taste how much spice and salt and what you put in there? Yeah.
It's very important to have the right spices. Plus
Oh, here we go. So we're about to fry.
Yeah, she's
There we
about to fry. So we're nearly there. It doesn't take that long. If you know your job, then you will.
Absolutely.
You see, you
And
have
this is
to
the thing I
know.
love about pakora. It could be any shape. Just
It
take
could
a
be
bit
any shape.
and put it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it to medium. What is the medium here? See, she knows.
She knows. So she
Yeah.
does the perfect temperature. The sizzles away.
Exactly.
And you know what makes my job even more difficult right now is I'm standing over this.
Uh-huh.
You know when you haven't eaten all day, the aroma, especially something which is frying, when that hits you,
Yeah.
I'm going to struggle on the rest of the show now is the problem.
No,
This is
you
now the
wouldn't.
problem.
It'll be okay. What about the ladies? They are cooking
Actually,
more,
that's true. That's
and
true.
they are busy cooking and cleaning and washing and doing other things
That is
and
true.
shopping.
Okay, so put it on.
You know, I always get told off when I say that on here because we've always been told men should be doing it as well. But
They
show me a
should.
man who does that. Show me a man who
No,
does the
my
cooking,
husband
the
does
cleaning.
it.
Oh, he does. There you go.
Yeah.
Uncle does it.
He
Uncle does
helped
it.
me quite a lot. Today especially.
Ah,
He did the potatoes. He did all the other spices like green coriander, chilies, things like that. And he does help.
oh no, excellent.
So-
Look, Auntie Suda, what I'm going to leave you here. We're going
Yeah.
to have that cooking away.
Yes.
I'm going to go over to our supper. We have a guest, and we're going to introduce him very shortly. But Auntie Suda, you carry on.
Yes.
We're going to we're going to come back to you
Fine.
later in the show.
Yes.
And well, I would say we would taste them.
You okay?
but we will see.
inshallah.
We can-
You will love them. I can
Absolutely.
assure you.
Yes.
These are beautifully done, and everything is balanced in there. Spices are all balanced.
No, that's it. Absolutely.
And you will enjoy it.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to leave you here. Let me go
Yes.
over to the other side.
Yes.
And we should introduce you to our new guest. But look at that. It's
Yes.
looking absolutely wonderful. It's sizzling away over there. And I'm looking forward to tucking into that a bit later on. And it's by magic. As if by magic. I'm now in the main area. You'd think the kitchen was just around the corner. And joining us today, we've got a very special guest who's travelled all the way from Sudan. We have with us Dr. Mohammed Rifat, who is the Chief of Mission in Sudan from the Institute of Migration. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Mohammed. Thank you so much for joining us.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Basit, it's a pleasure to be with you.
No, alhamdulillah, pleasure. We have people travelling many a distance to join us here, but Sudan is very far. So we thank you. I know you only just landed yesterday, I believe.
Yes.
No, Hamdan, thank you so much for coming. Just now, first of all, I've got to ask, before we begin, what is the IOM, the Institute of Migration, and what is it that you do?
First, thanks for the very warm welcome. And actually, it's not only you who suffered. I also suffered by watching this beautiful meal being prepared. And it also reminds us that maybe 1 out of every 2 in Sudan doesn't have enough food on their tables.
Yes.
And for all of us to appreciate this blessing that we have in Ramadan. So Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem. And what's IOM? IOM is a UN agency for migration. We are the one who's responsible for the displacement discussions, counting those who are moving in Sudan, providing a lot of aid there, including shelters, including food supplies, non-food, health, wash, supply, like water, sanitation for them. And most important is like the coordination rule and making the population, the global population, understand how desperate the situation in Sudan.
Absolutely. Of course, there's been a lot of news about migration. We hear about this here. It's almost like there's a witch hunt about anyone who migrates. Basically, why do they migrate? To have a better life for themselves, so that you provide a safe haven. Surely that's made your job a lot harder now.
Yeah. So the narrative around migration has actually been only focused on the negative side of migration. But migration has, in majority of the situation, a positive element of it.
Yes.
Like Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he immigrated, and
Yes.
our year as Muslims start with immigration. So we call it hijrah.
Hijrah, of course.
So it's definitely migration has this positive impact on all our perception. And you cannot ignore the positive economic outcome of many of the labor migrants who migrate or cross border to invest their lives and invest their years in making other countries' economy grow. I think we focus on the negative impact of those who are taking the risk of crossing the border, sometimes irregularly, just because the media and how people feel scared about difference in culture. But we know in Quran, وَجَعْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. So it's in Quran that we all have to meet, and the God has made us in different tribes, different countries, so we can meet and we can know each other. So I think there is this negative narrative around migration is one of the biggest things that IOM is trying to push back, to explain. And the crisis like in Sudan is a very good example of how people are getting together. I can tell you that in Sudan, the total population is around 47 million.
Right.
11.6 of them are displaced, have been outrooted from their homes because of the war.
Right.
But 50% of them have been hosted by the communities. So imagine you as a household, you are hosting 2 or 3 families in your house. So I think there is a lot of impact on how we perceive migration and how we as Muslims come together during this holy months and think about migrants as a positive impact, not just as a burden.
Absolutely. It's a very good point you made about the Prophet, peace be upon him. He was a migrant. He migrated from Mecca to Medina. Do you feel when it comes to Muslims and that term migration, that the attitudes are different to the way they're perceived from a Western perspective?
I think it all goes back to the knowledge and the fear of the difference. And it's, I wouldn't say it's Muslims against Westerns. I would say it's mainly about how we tackle the difference between all of us. So if we look into what we have in Quran, for example, you say like Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he was a migrant himself.
Yes.
And when you read in Quran, Surah Al-Hashr, وَالَّذِينَ تَبَوَّأُوا الدَّارَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ يُحِبُّونَ مَنْ هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِمْ وَلَا يَجِدُونَ فِي صُدُورِهِمْ حَاجَةً مِمَّا أُوتُوا وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَى أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ وَمَنْ يُوقَ شُحَّ نَفْسِهِ فَأُولَئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. So you see in this ayah that Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned that one of the main characters of the believers was the love for immigrants. So it goes without saying that we grow up on knowing that even giving what we have in hand, even if we are in desperate need for it, for others, immigrants, is part of being Muslim and being mu'min. So I think it goes without saying. Also, I have seen a lot of charity coming from the Western countries, and we cannot neglect this. It's just now that with all the, let's say, the economic challenges that countries are having now, it's becoming more and more the excuse that migrants are the one bringing the economic challenges.
Yes.
I think it's just data is not telling this Data is telling us that migrants are actually bringing more resources and more job opportunities and more diversity to countries. I think if you look at many of the Western countries, you will see it in Germany, in the US, in Canada, many of the workforces are actually immigrants.
Yes,
And they have contributed very positively to the economy. So it's part of our role to push back on this narrative and to keep advocating for positive outcomes,
No,
inshallah.
absolutely. And on that topic of Muslims and catering for Muslims, the IOM recently launched an Islamic philanthropy fund. Tell us more about that. What's that, and why did you set that up?
Yes, actually it was launched like 2 weeks ago, and we are very proud of it. It has been in discussion, and I think you know about it since maybe 4 years. We have been, before launching an Islamic philanthropy, it was very important to do like a background research and get fatwa and make sure that it's follow all the regulations of al-Sharia. And since 2020, IOM have been discussing this and get, alhamdulillah, many of the fatwas to authorize it and the system in place. And the whole point we have is that we want to offer a system that's very well thought about, very, let's say, confident about how resilient it will be to serve money and serve resources to those who are actually deserve those zakat and sadaqat, not only in the countries where it is being produced, but also to allow opening more channels of this fund being going to some of the categories that might be hard to find. I give an example. Like we work with displaced population, which is one of the channels for zakat. Those who have been cut in the roads and cannot go anywhere, Ibn Sabil. So you work with IOM and you see that most of our populations that we serve is actually Ibn Sabil. Then you look at those who have been victims of human trafficking and slavery. So we work on saving lives. Like we work on getting those who have been trafficked or abused under the slavery in human trafficking cases, protect them, provide them with services, and return them back to their families. There is nothing more holy in my life that I have seen more than saving one life. And in the Quran we say, وَمَنْ أَحْيَاهَا فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. So if your zakat or sadaqah is one of those channels, goes to one of those channels where you can actually save one life out of the human trafficking or slavery, then you have got something that definitely, inshallah, it goes in Al-Jannah. So IOM not only providing this very strongly well thought about system of where to spend zakat, but also we have the chance, since we have our mandate very diversified, is to put those money in actually areas where it is rightly selected, but also it's somehow hard to find in many other places.
No, of course. And one thing I'm dying to ask you, because of course we're talking about migration, then we also heard the term refugee.
Yeah.
Is it the same? Are they different? What's the difference between the two?
There is a difference. People move for several reasons. And one of the reasons why people move is to seek protection. And either there is a war in their countries, or they're being targeted for some ethnic or legal reasons, and they cross the border where they are to go and seek protection in another country. And this is what we call refugee. But for migrants, it's basically everyone who migrates. So people can migrate to look for job, can migrate for education, and the UK is very famous for this, can migrate for looking for marriage. So Rasul sallallahu la tushaddu rihal ila thalatha. But so migrating has a lot of reasons, and anyone who migrates for reasons that's different than protection is considered a migrant. But refugee is the one who's just focused on crossing the borders to seek protection.
Right. Oh, Dr. Mohammed, it's absolutely wonderful work that you're doing. I'm so excited to hear about the Islamic Philanthropy Fund that's been launched. I'm looking forward to learn more. But if our viewers want to learn more about the IOM or indeed about the fund, how can they go about doing that?
We have our website. We have our link. I hope you can share. And definitely, I think our website for Sudan. So this year, all the zakat, all the Islamic philanthropy money that we will be collecting will go to IOM in Sudan. And it's also because it's the first year, so we are making sure that zakat is going 100% cash in hand. It means that if Muhammad donate like $100, I am guaranteeing, and it's my responsibility in the organization to make sure that those $100 will go cash in hand to the family or to the person who deserve it in Sudan. So through your online donation, definitely you will be part of this family, inshallah.
No, fantastic. Dr. Mohammed, thank you so much for your time. And I know the links were on the screen. This, our viewers, hopefully will support an absolutely wonderful cause and keep up the fantastic work. Now, folks,
Pleasure to be with you.
we do love doing on this show, of course, is doing a bit of a giveaway. And that's what I do whenever I'm here. So I think, what was it, on Thursday, Friday, we gave away some cat food and we have the same thing for you to... apparently, we did it yesterday and Sunday as well. I wasn't here, but we did it. We're doing it every single day. Remember, you can win 1 month's worth supply of Hurera Halal Pat Food. All you have to do is scan the QR code that's on your screen right now, and you can win a month supply. So hopefully you've been scanning away. It was been on the screen whilst being going live. And remember, if you enter the prize draw, excuse me, at the end of Ramadan, we're going to be picking a lucky winner who would win a year's supply of Hurera cat food. So who will the lucky winner be today? Well, actually, I've just heard, actually, we have run out of time, unfortunately. That's all that we have time for today. But before we go, do scan that QR code. You enter the month-long contract. But let's just go to the kitchen. Auntie Zarina, how are the pakoras coming along?
Almost ready.
Almost
ready. It is the way to eat these pakora is, because they are deep fried, the best way to eat is use yogurt chutney. And
yes.
then it's not that bad because yogurt, and it has some spices in it, which are good for us, for the human digestion. And you would be able to digest it reasonably well.
No, perfect.
And once in a blue moon, it's not a bad thing to eat anyway.
Absolutely.
We
And
all
in Ramadan,
like something.
why not? Zarina, Auntie, thank you
Exactly.
so much. Faiz, thank you so much. Dr. Muhammad, thank you so much for joining us, folks. That's all we've got time for today. We're going to be back same time, same place tomorrow. Until then, from all of us here. Assalamu alaikum.